I'm going to point out up front here that the length of the video doesn't really correspond to the quality of the game. I'm mentioning that because Splash Lake is a very, very simple puzzle game. It's only going to take me 3 minutes and 37 seconds to describe everything about the game. And Splash Lake doesn't have any significant connections to anything. It's not an adaptation of a popular show, or sequel to a significant game, or even part of a major trend. Splash Lake is out there all by itself being Splash Lake. The plot of the game is, let me just check the manual here. Okay, it doesn't have one, but there was a US release. Let me check that manual. Okay, you're an ostrich named Ozzy, and that's it. Okay, no plot, except for the cutscenes between areas, which are really short comedic skits. Your goal in every level is to eliminate all of the monsters, and you do that by dropping them in the lake. Ozzy can peck tiles by pressing button 2, and that causes them to crack. If any section of tiles isn't supported by a pillar, that would be the spaces with the red diamonds on them, then they fall into the lake, and anything standing there falls with them. You get more points the more things you drop in the lake simultaneously, though the points here really do not do anything. Ozzy's other ability is to jump by pressing button 1. That'll send Ozzy 2 squares forward. Your movement is perfectly constrained to those squares on the screen. So if you tap in the direction that you're facing, then you will move 1 full square in that direction. Tapping a direction that you're not facing should make you face that direction but not move. But in my experience, the time for changing direction and not moving is very, very short. There's a good chance that you'll change direction and then move. That's not much of an issue early on, but later there are stages that require that you peck out multiple squares around one tile, and you will wind up mispecking in those situations a lot. Tiles that have fallen into the lake will reappear after a few seconds, so this isn't a situation where you can destroy things and make a level unwinnable for you. Every 10 stages, there's a boss that has some kind of gimmick. It might be that you just have to drop them in the water multiple times, but for ones like this centipede, you have to drop all 6 segments in the water simultaneously, which means finding a place where you can drop 6 segments in the water. Ozzy can come into contact with enemies 3 times before dying, and there isn't a way to recover health on a stage. There's no power-ups or anything like that in this game. You also die if you manage to knock out the land that you're standing on and fall into the lake. You start out with 4 lives, lose all of them, and you can continue from exactly where you left off. On top of that, the game auto-saves after every level, so when you start up next time, you'll be exactly where you were. So I'm not sure why they even bothered having lives in this case. The key to doing well in Splash Lake is understanding the enemy patterns. They all have particular behaviors that you can take advantage of. Like these fire guys won't pass over any cracks. And the crabs can move rapidly sideways, but very slow up and down. A lot of the enemies are programmed to take the most direct path to Ozzy, and that does cause a problem when they often move at the same speed as Ozzy. There are some enemies that will just get on top of you and stay there. You might be able to take 3 hits, but if you can't get away, then that doesn't mean anything. Splash Lake has 60 stages, kind of. You see, if you complete 60 stages, then you unlock 60 extra hard stages. This is reverse mode, but the stages aren't reversed. If you clear those 60 extra hard stages, then you unlock NG mode, which are 60 extra hard stages. And if you clear those, well, that's it. I mean, that's 180 levels. What more do you want? Splash Lake has a rather robust set of options for you, letting you make all sorts of adjustments to the graphics and tile sets. So if you're not happy with how the game looks, feel free to make some changes. When it comes to opinions on Splash Lake from Japanese players, I found that people generally liked it, though maybe not enthusiastically so. People liked it, but no one was calling it out as an all-time favorite. My own take is that Splash Lake is decent, but I also felt like it came up short in quite a few areas. Because all of the variety is in the stage layout and enemy patterns, It always feels like your choices are really limited. There's never any kind of expansion of what you can do. And there's not really any complicated tricks to figure out. When you start a stage, you'll spot the weak points after a few seconds, and then it's a matter of executing that plan. There's just not as much thought as there is in other puzzle games. Maybe I should be calling it an action game instead of a puzzler? Well, Splash Lake definitely straddles that boundary. Splash Lake is decent enough. If you like puzzle games, you'll probably have a good time with it. But it's probably not the first one you're going to reach for in your collection.